5 lessons from Think Big, Make It Happen in Business and Life, written by Trump and Zanker. Mentorship is of vital importance to greatness. One of the surest ways to realizing one's dream is to study the life of great leaders. Great leaders are not necessarily born with leadership qualities. They grow and nurtured those qualities through life experiences. Within our own scope of life, our environment in which we may find ourselves, there are certainly 1 or 2 personalities upon which we look onto. Those can be our parents, our bosses, our colleagues, partners, pastors, or any spiritual leaders for that matter. Growing as a kid, my dad was my role model, my mentor. I wanted to be like my father, a local locomotive engineer. I loved the very sight of a moving train, its beautiful design. My dad, on weekends, would take us to his workplace for sightseeing. I dreamed myself of becoming an engineer myself. But then, life sometimes doesn't necessarily lead us to where we would like to be. As we grow through life, changes are bound to happen. They are bound to occur in our life, and our dreams are sometimes altered in one way or the other. But the good news is that today we found our own path in life. Yes, we couldn't be the engineer that you wanted to be, or you couldn't be a teacher as our father or mothers. You couldn't also be a politician as we aspire to become, or any other profession. But today, we are more than any of those dreams. Today, we find ourselves. Today, we really know who we are. Indeed, progress is being made, and perfection, in my opinion, is an illusion. We are humbled, therefore, by the great achievement of our leaders. Through their own experiences in life, we are blessed in so many ways to be guided by those people in order for us to reach our own greatness. One of the important books, the inspirational books that I've ever come across, happens to be New York Times bestseller, Trump and Zanker, Think Big, Make It Happen in Business and Life. Yes, if in one way or the other you are cornered in life, I invite you to read this book. If you dare not to try anything in life, be my guest and let's find out some of the best advices given in this book. So here is the 5 most highlighted lessons that I could fish out after reading this book. Lesson number 1. Get in the habit of speaking your mind. Lesson number 1 tells us not to be afraid of what people think. Remember that people are not as smart as you think, or they think of themselves as being smart. Speak like a big thinker. Fear, they say, often closes people's mouth when they want to speak. It equally closes our mind when we want to think. Therefore, dare to speak and make sure you know what you want to say. Lesson number 2. When somebody hits you, hit them back harder. Always get even. Truly, this is not a conventional advice as we've been taught growing up. But according to the book, you have to go after people who mess with you. In business, you are certainly going to be screwed, and you need to get even with people who screw you. Screw them back 15 times harder, as Donald Trump would say. Getting even is not always a personal thing. It's just a part of business transaction. It is part of doing business. So get even when it feels so weird and uncomfortable. This is a real life advice. Lesson 3. Ditch your doubts. Get rid of them. Big thinkers conquer their doubts. Doubt leads directly to failure. When in doubt, believe in yourself and assume that you will succeed. Indeed, nobody can do this for you. Do not grab for someone else's assurance when you are feeling inadequate. Develop your own self-belief. Lesson number 4. Worry, fear, and indecision destroys focus. To take charge of your life, you must conquer fear. Do not advise. Zap every negative thought as soon as it shows its ugly face. Stop the indecisive internal dialogue before it starts. That is your biggest enemy. The worst hell you will ever face is the hell you create within your own mind. It is even much worse than the hell other people create for you. In this world of ours, remember, it is not always a straight shot to success. Your road to the top will have a great number of detours, changes in direction, twists, and turns. Lesson number 5. Value loyalty above everything else. When dealing with people, when dealing in business, loyalty is a reciprocal action. A lot of people, business organizations, demand loyalty from their partners, colleagues, or workers without necessarily being loyal themselves. This is a false flag. And the bonus that I would like to share with you is, remember that if you ever get into deep difficulty, always focus on the things that make you feel better. Sure, handle the bad stuff you have to deal with, but do not let it demoralize you or distract you from pursuing your goal. Realize that it is only a moment in time and it will pass. Keep your sight set on a better time in the future which will certainly come to pass if you stay focused. Things cannot and will not continue downwards forever. So you all, those are my thoughts. Those are my most inspirational and highlighted quotes and advices from this book. And I will be glad to hear from you, your thought, your reflection, and your comments. And to you, I simply say, be safe and take care.